Hi guys, XYZ, and I know it's been quite some time, but I decided to get back to doing the good and the bad. And I know it's been quite some time since I've done one of these. I think it's been like November at this point, but I guess at the start of this new year, I decided I want to do something a little bit different, and I'm gonna change up the format a little bit when I'm doing this. So it's still not set in stone, so I'm kind of testing things out. So bear with me on that. But with that all said, I am going to be doing Tekken Tag Tournament 2, obviously the sequel to Tekken Tag Tournament back on the PlayStation 2. And I gotta say though, this is actually one of the better Tekken games I've played. I mean, it basically takes elements from Tekken 6 that if if those who have actually played that game, and also pretty much combines like characters from pretty much every Tekken game up to this point. Uh, yeah, so it's actually not too bad, and I'd say for the most part, it's a pretty good addition to the Tekken series. So let's take a look at this. Well, when it comes for the good, well, here's going to change everything up a little bit. I instead of just naming off my top three for the good, I'm just going to kind of give a little bit of a list and kind of my thoughts as to what I think is good with the game itself. So, I guess for the first thing, I would say obviously the roster. I mean, after all, this is Tekken Tag. I mean, the first Tekken Tag game had a lot of characters to choose from. This game, as of now, this Tekken game actually has the most in terms of roster. I think it has roughly about 70 characters if you were to include all the patched in DLC characters. I mean, that's a lot to choose from, considering how long Tekken's been going out. So, I mean, it has pretty much every character since the start. And, of course, also with that, they have some, I guess, kind of duplicates in a way. Well, kind of like you have like Eddie and Christy, which have very similar move sets, slight changes, but for the most part they're the same. I mean, you have martial law and forest law, again similar, but some slight changes, just to make them a little bit of their own original characters. You also have pair play mode. With pair play mode, it allows you to it allows you and another player to actually be in the same team and fight against the AI. Or if you want, you can actually have up to four players all together, have two teams going on head to head. And even also you can even do pair play mode, even online. So I mean, you can actually take you and your friend online and actually try to battle against other players. So I mean, it's a pretty good experience if you want a good multiplayer game, with you and your friends sitting on the couch just kind of gaming. uh, Another thing would probably be the tagging mechanics. They have improved from the first Tekken Tag game, because in the first Tekken Tag, it's mostly just you tagging in and out. Whenever like your health is low, you tag in your other partner, and they'll help continue the battle and continue the fight. So I mean, there really wasn't much in terms of strategy or anything like that. But in Tekken Tag 2, they do have like assist throws where I guess kind of like before, where you can actually throw your enemy and then your partner comes in to actually, uh, you know, uh, deliver like the finishing blow or whatever. And then of course there were some other things, but I don't know exactly what the names were on top of my head. I know there's some certain assists where you can perform a combo and then you tag in your partner and then it will actually help finish the combo for you. So I mean, it's a pretty good way to kind of bring in your partner at certain intervals. The next thing I would say I did like is the fight labs. Kind of the original thing they throw into the game. It kind of acts like a mini campaign where it focuses on Lee, Violet, his alter ego. Essentially, him trying to create a new combat, but he ends up accidentally deleting the data, so he has to go back and retrain an old model of combat, to fit the criteria. Um, I mean, it's a pretty shallow story, but at the same time, though, it actually also functions as a little tutorial on how to actually play the game, since there are like five individual stages, and each stage kind of teaches you some of the basics on how to fight and how to actually play this game. In a way, I kind of find it a pretty good, effective way to teaching the player how to do all the tagging, how to do like defending, attacking, teaching the basic things, which I actually do like. It's more interactive and a little bit more entertaining than just going through like a boring like tutorial menu and just opening up like different categories or options just to figure out how to do things. I mean, they do have that, you do have standard practice mode, but if you want something that's a little bit more entertaining, I'd say go for Fight Labs. And I guess also along with those lines, another thing is the combat. Weirdly, the combat in the Tekken Tag 2 is designed in a way where you can actually mix match different move sets from other characters. Pretty much almost kind of creating your own original character, which I actually do like. It's almost like having a custom character that you can create, which I mean that would have been a good attempt to actually have. You can even save like multiple, I guess, profiles in a way. To have like multiple move sets that you've customized. So, I mean, that's something pretty interesting right there. Well, for the bad of Tekken Tag 2, I mean, there are a few things that come in mind. For one thing, there is no story mode. um, yeah, so there's no story mode whatsoever. There's nothing like scenario campaign, and there's nothing even something small like the Tekken 6 or Tekken 4, 5, and 6 story mode. Yeah, and instead, it's just the only thing they have is this arcade. You just pick a team, go through 8 stages. Of course, you defeat Unknown as the final boss, and then you just get a random character ending that has nothing really to do with anything. It's just for the sake of entertainment. So it's kind of a little bit of a downer right there. Another thing is probably the DLC within the game, and by that, you can actually view the endings and also the music of every Tekken game. And for the most part, it's not bad, but it's just the fact that you have to pay for it or pay for the packs for it. And the thing is, though, I mean, you can find all the endings and the original soundtrack for pretty much all the Tekken games on YouTube. I mean, it may not be in like best quality, but I mean, it's still out there for free. So I kind of find it a little bit unnecessary why they bothered really having people pay for that. I guess maybe for the sake for the music, you can actually change out the music in the game to have like the older soundtracks, which I guess that's fine. But overall, though, I mean, if you just want to listen to music or look at the old endings for the characters, I mean, really just go to YouTube. And then another thing is probably the customization features, and well, kind of like Tekken 6, you can actually customize your character. Go from like customize the head, the body, their color scheme. You can give them items, give them auras. So I mean, it kind of goes in depth, kind of like Tekken 6. But the problem is you only get bare bones minimum stuff at first, and which kind of allows you to. It just repeats for all the characters. You just get the bare bones stuff. And if you want anything that's kind of exotic or unique, you have to pretty much be lucky just to get those, because you have to go into ghost mode, ghost fights, and you just have to keep playing until you luckily get into a gold fight where you face off against the team, and if you win, yeah, then you get to have a random an item drop for any random character. So it's really all just random luck at this point as to trying to get anything good for a certain character. So I mean, for the most part, it doesn't really seem pretty useful at all. I mean, I think last time I even played it, I had like roughly about 12,000, no, 12 million gold still in the reserve, because there really is not much to spend it on since there's nothing good to get. Well, when it comes for improvements, really only two things come in mind. Or I guess obviously for the customization, uh, yeah, I wish there was a faster way, a better way of actually getting certain items for certain characters. Um, I kind of wish they would make it in a way where you can actually, have like a treasure type mode. I mean, I guess yeah, similar to what they did in Tekken 7, but maybe more to an extent for a certain character. Like if you pick a certain character and you win matches, then you get to at random times get unlock supplies for that specific character that you're playing. I mean, something like that. Or I guess to go even faster, maybe allowing you to buy the items that you want directly. I don't see what was the problem with that back in Tekken 6 because I don't know. I mean, if you want to have options, variety, and you had the cash for it, I say just why not pay for it up front? And I would say the other thing for improvement wise is I guess really the rankings. Well, weirdly, in Tekken Tag 2, you have an offline rank and an online rank, which kind of seems a little bit unnecessary, really. I think most people really care more about their online rank than anything else. And, with that, I think it would have been better off if they were to just make one official rank, one overall rank, where you can actually just. It's not just being based on individual characters, it's just your general performance. Like whatever you do offline or online, then the rank would be changed, to reflect that. Kind of something similar to what they did with Tekken Revolution, just have like an overall rank instead of just an individual rank per character. Well, overall, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, while it does have a little bit of missteps when it comes to like maybe unnecessary things added to the game, and also, not including some of the basic things like a story mode, and kind of weirdly changing up some of the systems of customizations. Um, I mean, overall though, the game itself is still pretty good. I mean, it has a lot of content. Well, by that I mean it has like a lot of characters to choose from. And I guess again, yeah, it does have a lot of content for the DLC. Fine, and if you really want to pay for it, but it does also have like a lot of the traditional offline modes, and also there is the online fights that you can actually participate in, and you go up against a team, and then the fact that you can actually have up to 4 players all together, sitting on the couch actually playing against one another. That's actually not bad. It's a pretty good party game if you want to, kind of a good party game if you want to go with that. But yeah, I mean overall, Tekken Tag 2 is one of the more interesting and better Tekken games in the series, and I really do recommend actually trying it out, as there's a lot to really get out of it. And I mean, who knows? Maybe if they were going to make a Tekken Tag 3, they can actually use some of the elements here to actually make better in that next game, whenever, if or whenever that's going to come out. But yeah, when it comes to this game, though, I would probably give Tekken Tag 2 a final score of an 8 out of 10. Again, some slight missteps, but overall, it's still pretty good, pretty fun experience, and I'd say it's worth trying out, especially if you want to play with some of your favorite characters in the game. Alright, guys, this is DevilHunterXYZ, and until next time.